You've been trying to silence your inner critic, which is exactly why it keeps getting louder. You cannot force it to be quiet. You have to integrate it into who you are so that you can actually break free from patterns of self-judgment. In this video, I want to talk about how to actually integrate the inner critic, what it is, more about where it came from. And I want you to also pick up this book right here, Embracing Your Inner Critic by Hall and Sidra Stone. It's a fantastic read and it's really going to help you out. So the first point I have is that your inner critic isn't yours. In fact, you inherited your inner critic. I want you to think of all the times that you were judged, shamed, criticized as a kid, especially from ages 0 to 8, but even really 0 to like 12. And I want you to imagine if every time that happened, it kind of like stored inside of you. Those judgments of other people, they kind of were absorbed into your own mind. And you kept internalizing their judgments over and over and over and over again, completely unconsciously, not recognizing that you were doing this whatsoever. And then by the time you were an adult, you had all these shame-based narratives of yourself. If you were imperfect, you beat yourself up. You judge yourself, you criticize yourself. You have feelings you don't like, you judge them. You make a mistake, you judge yourself for that, etc. And essentially, this internalization becomes a habit of self-abuse. It's literally internalized abuse. And this hurts especially more as a kid when it's done by people in positions of power and authority. Parents, teachers, maybe priests, people who you need something from, like validation, security, love, approval, in order to survive. You need the safety and connection that comes with that relationship in order to survive and get your needs met. So the judgments of those authority figures in childhood became the beliefs that you actually hold about yourself. This is a little bit of the backstory on why you beat yourself up. Why do you criticize yourself? Most people don't even really recognize that they criticize themselves. Most people aren't aware of how much they actually judge themselves. They feel sad, they judge themselves. They make a mistake, they judge themselves. This is a very painful habit that when you become aware of it, that's when you can actually begin to break free from it. If you deny it or if it's just unconscious, it still loops in the background whether or not you deny it or you don't deny it. So moving on to the second point is silencing it makes it worse. If you try and force yourself to stop judging yourself, it's going to fail. The more you try and fight this part of you, the louder it gets. You can't just push it down. You need to actually investigate your experience. So it's not really an enemy to defeat, right? Why do we judge ourselves? Like, what is the real survival purpose of judging ourselves? Let's go back to a childhood scenario. Someone wants validation and love and approval and security from someone in a position of power, a teacher, a parent, and you're judged and criticized, right? How does that help you? Like that's a threatening situation to you getting your needs met. So what you actually learn is that if I criticize myself, then I can be spared of the shame and the pain of rejection from this authority figure. That's what you put together in your own mind very young, completely without knowing it. And then that pattern continues into adulthood. But essentially, you beat yourself up so that you can be loved and approved of. Why do you want to be perfect? Why do you want to avoid making mistakes, avoid failure? Why do you judge yourself by your own states and feelings and thoughts and beliefs and actions or inactions? I didn't do enough today. And then the opposite, I'm doing too much today. I told myself I wasn't going to do too much today. Now I beat myself up for whatever. So you do it for love, fundamentally. You want love. That's actually why you're doing it. Even if it's for accomplishments and status and achievements, you want to be able to love life. That's what you want. You want to be able to feel in love with yourself and your experience, and you want to feel at peace. You want to feel safe. So if you beat yourself up, this is the sort of internalized belief. If you beat yourself up, then you can behave in the way that leads to love and approval from the authority figure, parent, teacher, whoever. But of course, as an adult, this is very painful and dysfunctional. You're perfectionistic. You kind of paralyze yourself because you judge yourself way too much. It's very uncomfortable. You have a feeling that you don't like, you judge that feeling, you just repress it more. You're not at peace. You can't live a good life constantly judging yourself. A fundamental pillar to living a good life is self-love and a lot of it, like a very deep, radical self-acceptance that is rare in our modern society. We don't have many examples of it, don't have many people to point to as a prime example of it. So suppressing it is like holding a beach ball underwater. It just kind of comes up, and pushing it down counterintuitively provides the fuel for it to kind of come back up. So the only way out is through. You can't think your way out of the inner critic. You have to actually feel what it's protecting you from, the underlying fear of rejection, the underlying shame. You have to feel somatically, what is this thing protecting me from? And as you learn to become more comfortable with those sensations and not judge them and hate them, as you learn to be in your body and regulate your nervous system, you feel safe enough to let go of those shame-based narratives. That's one very fundamental point. And the next one is actually challenging those shame-based narratives, identifying how much you judge yourself, and then just challenging those judgments that you have of yourself, recognizing it consciously, just being the witness of it, and then letting it go. So you're mixing embodied awareness with challenging the stories that your mind actually keeps telling you, and not identifying with those stories that your mind keeps telling you, but learning how to be the awareness of them and then drop those stories, which is challenging because those stories, this word story makes it sound a little bit too light almost. It's really like your whole sense of identity. Like the inner critic in this underlying shame is baked into your sense of who you are. It's really a shame-based identity. These repeated stories and repeated feelings that you keep fighting and struggling against, right? And the stories you tell yourself make up a massive aspect of who you actually experience yourself to be, which is what needs to change. Your identity is what needs to change in order to actually heal from this and open up, which is itself challenging because that opening up is very vulnerable. That opening up leaves us just with reality itself, with the present experience. We are pulled more into presence rather than trying to avoid the experience that we're having through beating ourselves up. Because that self-judgment is a defensive mechanism which closes us down from the present moment, which is where all fulfillment and joy and happiness is actually found. That's where authenticity is found. That's where our true self is found. That's where all the things that you actually want are found. They're all going to be in the present moment because that's the only experience that actually exists. So you have to feel what your inner critic has been protecting you from. You have to go to the vulnerable part below the critic and feel what's going on there and integrate that into your sense of who you are. The hurting inner 2-year-old, 4-year-old, 5-year-old. You have to go to the actual critic and learn how to be with the critic with curiosity. Instead of judging it and hating it and wanting to go away, you learn, how do I just connect with this part of me? Think of a troubled teenager. What's one thing that troubled teenager really needs? Connection. They need love. They need to feel secure. A big part of why a lot of people are troubled is because they lack the security and the connections that they actually need. And it's like you're doing that for yourself. You're becoming your own inner parent. Same thing with a crying baby. What do they need? They need connection and they need safety, or else they're going to cry. They are crying because they do not feel safe and secure, and it's overwhelming them, and they need someone to help them co-regulate. And you're basically becoming your own inner parent towards your inner child, towards those inner child parts of you, and towards that inner critic, which developed really between the ages of like 0 to 8. And then further solidified between like 8 to 18, really, especially around like 8 to 12. So the inner critic dissolves when it's finally heard and then integrated. So only when you learn how to integrate the inner critic can you actually break free of that dysfunctional pattern. And then you can actually integrate the positive aspects of the inner critic, like intellectual sharpness. You can even have healthy criticism as well. Like if I failed at something, instead of beating myself up and thinking I'm ashamed because I failed, it's just a very honest, okay, why did I fail? Maybe I just need to improve my skill, for example. So when you can be harmonious with this part of you is when you can integrate it. When you can approach it with curiosity, with wonder, with awe, with acceptance, with neutrality, this is when you can begin to actually integrate it. Usually we start off judging it, hating it, and we have to move more towards neutrality and acceptance, and then we can move even beyond that into just love, like genuine love for what we experience, which is where you actually want to go. Because what else do you want other than to really just be in love with life? Like what other thing do you actually want? So if you've tried to break free from your patterns and you're still stuck, send me a DM on Instagram. I'm doing my inner work and integration program. It's my one-to-one coaching. If you want help, just send me a DM. That's it for this video. Leave a comment down below. You can pick up my free inner work starter kit as well. Super valuable, extremely valuable. It's a guide, a video, and my book list is also in there. Extremely packed with value. Thanks for watching. Take it easy.